Bow. Hey everybody, welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. My name is Kevin Manus Pennings, also known as Craig Volunteer.
Sorry.
Oh, getting your dice. That's hilarious. I am your host and game master for tonight, episode 86 of Brise's Tale. And as always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful week, and hope you're excited for our session today.
That's right. We apologize for our little absence last week. We had just some unexpected stuff come up, and I should warn you that we've got internet problems today, and I can't go wired today. The ports are dead, and so I'm having to go wireless. So we know it's going to cause some stutters and some quality issues, and we hope you just bear with us. So a couple of weeks ago, we had the wrap up on the whole Iron Empress cult and so on, and that was pretty exciting. Basically, they shut down the Iron Empress's cult in town. We also discovered that there was a local uh, several local people of importance involved in it. Um, so they, but they, so as one example, there was a local crime lord that was involved. There was another wealthy individual, a goblin wine merchant female named Anne Leb, who seemed to be some of the funding for this cult. And with the help of a retired cleric, they sort of the Brise and some other adventurers did a raid on her house in the early hours of the morning, or the middle of the night, I guess I should say, and sort of scared her into confessing and turning herself over to the priests and so on. So after all that sort of wrapped up, we also discovered that, as you may recall, that Brise is staying at a local noblewoman's keep. She is the ruler of this particular county in the Goblin Nation of Nargaz, um, and um, a member of Lady Mia Girl's military, in fact, was part of this cult and escaped. He escaped arrest by the temple. And so there's presently the keep is on lockdown. People are searching the keep for him, um, and um, and we don't know his whereabouts. But Brise is not involved in that. She's done her bit secretly for shutting this place down. Brise comes back to the keep after a long night, and what are we about? Is it noonish? Is that what we're looking at, or is it mid morning? What time is it?
Yeah, it was. Check here. It was 2 sessions ago is when we started the day and we had breakfast. So yeah, it's afternoon,
Okay,
lunchtime.
so she gets back and begins, sort of gathering, just asking servants and so on, because she's not really supposed to be out of her room while the keeps on lockdown.
Mhm.
And did find this crazy young goblin servant who is just a crazy gossip. And Breeze got a good deal of information, some reliable, some sounds kind of a little more far fetched, and then sent her away to get food. And discussing sort of our catch up before the stream, we thought, there are a few more questions that Breeze has for her, and we're going to kind of rewind a little bit and
Yeah.
let Brees have a second conversation with this young uh, goblin kitchen wench, and tie up some loose ends and just try to get some information for Brees's next step. So that's where we are. Thank you for bearing with us through that explanation. So Breeze has no real palate, as we know. She doesn't really care about food one way or the other. And so,
the hardest thing I have to role play.
I know it's very difficult. Um, so she returns and with your meal, and you ask her to stay, and you did reward her nicely for the first batch of information,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're like, you might be of further service to me.
Oh, a few more questions I'd like to ask.
Right. And she curtsies and so on. You gesture for her just to stand in front of you while you eat, and which you're very accustomed to coming from an affluent family.
Mhm.
And she looks at you and waits attentively upon your whim.
Okay. So I ask about if she's heard anyone by the name of Ordia around the keep or around town. Um, and for all our viewers, Ordia was one of the
Yes.
more, I guess, greater powers, you'd want to say, like behind the cult here, but a
Yeah,
very
seems
mysterious
maybe
figure.
just yeah, maybe just another. But she seemed to be he or she seemed to be calling the shots.
Right, right.
And
Yeah,
but we've not met anyone in the cult who has ever met this person. So we
right.
don't know if it's just something fabricated. The name was brought up first by Brashla.
Mhm.
Um, and so the question is, where is this Ordia? Who is this Ordia? And should we be concerned about this person?
Right.
It is possible that Brashla just, created this person so as a diversion so that he wouldn't be further implicated in whatever was going down with the
Right.
cult. We know that he wanted to take over. Brashla wanted to take over the cult for his own personal power, and but supposedly that was under the auspices of Ordia. The our winch says um, the the name is familiar. Um, she's heard it here and there. Um, um, Usually, she knows that she's heard it out of powerful people's mouths. Um, you know,
Let me
um,
ask, what's the last time you heard about it? Like, who was kind of discussing it?
wow, she has a very clear memory. Jeez,
Unlike most of us,
no kidding.
I feel like people back then probably got good sleep, so they probably had good memory. You had
That's right.
nothing to keep you up at night.
Well, it's like I don't know how much Shakespeare you've studied or Shakespearean history in some sense. They talked about
Well,
in my
Shakespeare.
lit in my lit in my lit classes. I talk about every Shakespeare play was basically meant to be performed in 2 hours, which
Oh
would be
wow.
really difficult for us to do in
Yeah.
modern day. The
Yeah.
lines were given very rapidly and in quick succession
Oh right.
because they were such a verbal people. Their ears could just handle it and process. Their brains could just
Right.
process it, and it would be
Right.
too much for us. Also, there's a
That's
language
interesting.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Huh.
so, I bet they had a superior verbal memory to us.
Right. Right. It's interesting to think
Although
about.
you get health issues too, competing with that, right? Malnutrition and things like. So I don't know.
True. Yeah.
Maybe it's a wash, but anyway, I've always found that very interesting to think about how you know um, culture affects your physiology.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Um, she says, um, like 3 days ago, she heard it from um, um, a the number two priest, the assistant high priest, if you will,
Mm.
um, at the chapel here, the temple, Miagral's personal temple here.
Mm.
That goblin's name, she's a female, is Delcia, Delsia, and it was some passing reference, and she says, it was spoken with fondness, They seem to be chums, and the reference, was a friendly reference. Um, so
Okay.
I think my ceiling
Might
fan is creaking. Sorry.
I guess just a question for you then, Kevin. Would I be of enough status to just kind of have a meeting with this Delcia, or would it kind of require some more, maybe
That's a good
seeing?
question culturally. Yeah, I mean, you're a guest, right? I mean, you're really you're a guest in residence, really is what
Right,
we should refer to you as, right? I mean, if you were to spend your whole life here, no one would be surprised.
right.
You have permanent chambers here unless, there's some political
Upheaval.
or power split, right? You
Yeah.
know. And so being a guest in residence, you've definitely got some sway. Nobody wants to upset you
Hmm.
because you're a guest of Lady Mia Gral's, like not quite personally, but by her personal order,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Um, and so, yeah, the thing is, how are you going to explain your curiosity? Is what I mean. Could you get an
Right,
authenticity?
because then I would kind of be implicating myself as related to the what happened with the cult. So yeah, that's a good point.
Right. And if you, I mean, and knowing nothing about this individual, although it now does seem less likely that the person is made up, right? If you said, I've heard Ordia makes great swords, I'd like to meet him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
a,
I could frame it as, hey, I heard there was some ruckus regarding this cult. I know this piece of information, which is that I've heard the name Ordia. But
in
then why would I
relation.
need to see someone so high up about that?
Right. And
Tell that to my subordinate
Delcia, if this Delcia spoke of her friend
fondly. Yes,
Ordia,
that's true. Yeah.
then you can't go that route and implicate, and that could
Okay.
jeopardize your position here. Unless, I mean, keep in mind, and this goes back to something you and I have talked about, right? The player's inability to take risks
Right.
to lose anything,
Right.
right? And that's a
That's
major problem
true.
in role playing.
Mm,
But this is a cult against your god,
right. Mm.
and it's a tougher part of role playing when you have to sacrifice. Um, and so the question is, how much does it? It should matter, I would think, to Brees a good deal
Yeah.
that there are these
Mm.
agents out there. But you know, do you just go sit in the temple and just eavesdrop on
Right.
conversation?
Or pay someone to do that. But then,
Right.
yeah. Hmm.
I should add a caption here for.
Mm. I guess another thing, do I know if Ordia is a common name, or, in this region, if it would or wouldn't be out of the ordinary for multiple people, right? Someone to be named Ordia, who's a.
Ordia, I mean, um,
I mean, they all sound weird names to us, right? But
right, but
Breeze,
to local, I mean, you've not heard it in because your languages are there. They are,
Dwarven, Elven, Thax.
yeah. So Thax is the Manish language. You've not heard anyone of named Ordia or a word like Ordia in Thax.
Mm-hmm.
Goblin, um, Ord uh, means bell, you know,
Okay.
and so that's. But you're like, I don't know what that would be, and in Elven, yeah. So Ord means is a shortened form for it means like a little orchard. Um,
So yeah, it's like possible it could be a name in a couple languages. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
I should roll for Dwarven, but you're such a young speaker.
It's not like
Um,
Baralag, where it's like, yeah, that's clearly an evil sorceress.
smacks of it. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
get out of my head how evil that name is. It's just
no,
awful.
yeah, yeah, so funny. But okay. Hmm. Well, I'll note that, and I just ask, our servant here, since she has such good memory. It's like any other distinctive times you can remember where the name was brought up. possibly in a not so friendly context?
No, ma'am. But honestly, if this Ordia is anybody of any real weight in town, you should be able to ask and find it.
Right. Which we know that Gabrus has had trouble doing. So okay. Okay. I ask about the Iron Emperors instead, so I'll describe them. It's like another person I'm curious about is well, a figure really. Kind of give her description and the fact that they're kind of a religious figure. Um, and mention the snakes, usually associated with snakes and daggers.
Sort of describe the figurine that you've seen.
Right, right. And ask if they've um, seen anyone like matching that description, or heard about someone matching that description.
They say there are statues of that snake lady all throughout the valleys, especially in the north.
Mm. Especially in the north. Okay.
You've obviously been around goblins a while. I can tell by your accent. And we goblins, we like
It's
to
the
hedge our
fun.
bets. So we don't tear down statues of other gods usually.
Mm. Right. That's fair. Okay.
Oh, you may have froze up on me. Oh no. Well, we may have lost Max. But at least it's on his end. And so I don't feel guilty. And so what we can do is just play without him, and we'll just let the whole stream attempt to play his character through chat, and that should work fine. Oh my
All
God,
right.
he
Pulling
returned.
up chat right now. Hold on.
That's right. You're going to chime in. Well, that's
Oh,
not what we
sorry
want.
about that. Man, we're both having weird internet
I
bits.
know it's funny. Like I really,
Yours actually been pretty good though.
I know I was thinking about that. That's really hilarious that you've got the wired connection and you dropped off.
No, I have wireless too.
Oh,
Um,
you do wireless. I
yeah,
see.
mine is stupid. That's upstairs is where the
Right.
only outlet is. Bizarre, but anyway, um, we're back and we're good. Right. So I kind of reiterate saying, and you haven't really heard about this person around town, or seen any similar imagery around town or around the keep.
Every now and then you might find a drawing on a wall. It looks like little kids did it.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and every now and then you'll hear some farmer who digs up a dagger that might have snakes wrapped around its handle decoratively. Um, but um, but no, I've never heard of any being, say, in the middle of town or what have you.
Okay. Um, all right. One more thing I want to ask her is about Kralum, actually, because we know that Kralum kind of has his eyes on me even after he's been banished um, back to his domain, the Demon Lord Kralum, who we helped free. So I ask about, I just ask about the name Kralum. It's like, is that someone you've heard about or heard around the keep recently, around town,
No,
or
my lady.
or
Not
any rumors of talking? Well, I guess he wouldn't control talking animals, right? Because now he's in some other form. I don't know. I don't know how he'll manifest now, right?
right. In what way he would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if she hasn't heard it, then I suppose there's no other really way I can frame that question. Okay. think that's everything, unless I'm leaving something out, some other way to word a question. But
Where's the best place for gossip in town? Maybe.
sure, yeah, yeah. Just that.
Well, if we were men folk, the brothel that just got shut down was a great place. Other than that, really, Astelon's temple inside inside of town. My cousin's an initiate there. She hears all sorts.
Hope it's not from any kind of confessional, is it?
Well, there are no confessions here,
Oh,
sir.
confessionals in Karandrin. Okay. Okay, I might have to check that out then. Astalon's temple in town.
Which is the main temple.
Right. Okay. I might have been to. I can't recall. There's a few temples.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've been to it. Have you been to it since you're? Oh, you've been. I think you've been near it. That's right. You had to summon people because you couldn't go do the research yourself. That's right, because you weren't allowed in.
Right. Okay. And I'll finish finish eating, and when I'm done, I'll send her off with my
She
dishes.
sounds like she's going to be a reasonable contact for you.
Maybe, yeah, yeah.
So let's give
Maybe.
her a name. Elgeth. Elgeth.
Yes. Ooh. I'm gonna start kind of keeping all these names in a little table here because
Yeah.
it's kind of like when I visit like cities and populous areas and stay there a while, I kind of make all these like contacts. I need to.
Yeah.
Then I'll go on an adventure and be like, well, we don't have to remember them for maybe 4 or 5 sessions.
Right. I have argued to players what they should do. I mean, because Karandrin is certainly a more note heavy, a more involved game than possibly any I know of. But so like I like to do a list of contacts because I was doing this even in Star Wars when I played a little bit. Like whatever the city is, I start their name with that. That way, because then I'll highlight the list and alphabetize it,
Right, okay,
and it'll group it. So I'll do city name colon their name,
right.
and then that way things are grouped. Um, you know,
Right.
um,
Usually for me, I can remember the characters very well, but it's just the name, like the face to a name kind of problem. So
right,
what I'm doing is writing down all the names just in a list, and then I just know it. I'm like, oh yeah, that name,
right.
because it's
It'll
visual for me. I see
start,
the name,
yeah.
I'm like, that's this person. So,
And I should make her a entry here.
yeah. So yeah, once we send her off, we do need to talk to Athene as well, who is my handler at the keep, kind of like my I guess handler is really the only word for it. Just the person who um, kind of my contact to Mirgral and the rest of the keep. If I need to give any important information,
I'm sorry. Say that again.
I need to talk to Athene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we are going to city of Pesidarius on a small, well, maybe quite a large trip to go to the catacombs and find one of the 9-star sites.
Right.
Brise.
I want to make sure that she's got nothing cooking. send a note, ask for an audience. You get um, a reply after about an hour saying that she is now available,
Okay.
um, and instructions to get your butt over there.
Yeah, I know. The only time I've seen her, she's come to my room, so I guess
Oh,
I
I see.
can visit
Uh,
hers if that's fine. I just don't know where.
yeah, you just stop the messenger and say, "Take me to her." You know.
Mhm.
Oh, did you want to give? Did you want to give Elgath a few more coins?
Oh yeah, sure. Let me add some more.
What do you want to give her?
You already gave her a silver last time. I'll give her one silver, one more silver. I got
She
the YouTube
bows.
pulled up, and I see the thumbnail from last week, and I'm like, that does not look like me. Where'd all
Nah,
that hair go?
I need to go through and
I want to put all the thumbnails next to each other and just see my hair go like longer and longer.
nah. That's
Oh
flick
boy.
through them, make a flip book out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say, there we go. So that's good. And, all right, as I'm just banging out a character here. So yeah, so they lead you back into the main keep,
Mhm.
along the second floor, closer to where you had lived previously, on that side of the keep, which would be the,
Yeah.
I guess that's the west side of the keep, and you're brought to a you're brought to a little anteroom, and before a set of heavy doors. There's a guard there. When you arrive, he knocks on the door and steps in, and then he waves you in.
Mhm.
The door is a large office with a large fireplace, and there are maps of the local area up, marking out the all surrounding counties. Um, Algert's County is clearly marked. Um, there's
Interesting.
writing. This is on a table that the local counties are mapped out, and there's writing and marks on this map that it's the size of a dining room table. Um, she stands over it, looking at it. Um, and she's she turns to face you, and she says, "How have you found life at the keep now that you have new masters?"
It's um, much the same, but it's nice to know that kind of a more permanent role here, a little more before.
And there is a possible task for you to perform.
Okay.
You may have heard through the rumor mill here that there was a cult involved in town.
No. Really?
Roll for me if you wish to hide this information on
I
your.
am. I do want to hide this information. That's a 27.
Oh man. She looks at you with considerable seriousness. Oh, you know what? I should have you roll. You should roll twice. First is your gut feeling.
Right. 52.
You're a little worried about the change on her face. Roll
Right.
again.
82.
Uh, she has seen through your facade of ignorance. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
She regards you. She reaches under the table and rings a bell. The guard comes in, shuts the door, and she's like, let's
It's
try
just
that
got
again.
very serious. Do you want to put the caption up for Athene as well?
I should.
Yeah. We always, we always say Brise is a couple has one foot in the grave. Let's make sure we are truthful with this woman here. I'll just say the cult is something I was investigating. I know about the goddess they worship, this Iron Empress. They're found all around the valley, and so of course, they would have maybe a presence here too. Some people trying to awaken an old power.
All right, roll to omit. To leave your face neutral.
Right, 94.
All right.
Better. I just like hold on a sec. I down like a potion of lie.
Potion of dirty lying.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, where were we?
Now, keep in mind that you do feel that Athene, like your initial gut feeling about her when you met, you recall that she was
Is that
very
right?
much
Yeah,
that
she's
she
kind
was
of
very much on your side,
right, trusting. Okay,
and that she has a good relationship also with Fraldrum,
right,
right?
right, right. So, okay, I'll keep that in mind. But me being a non Brees, I mean, Brees is a person that is um, um, hard to trust others. So I'm definitely gonna, what I said is what I said, and we'll see how she reacts.
Sure.
I don't know what I'm doing this information.
She's like, these are serious matters. A friend of Lady Miagraw's has been implicated. If you're involved in this cult in any way, your only hope for salvation is to be honest with me.
Okay, so how can I?
But she seems to be saying involved with the cult.
Right,
Not,
exactly. So that's what I'm wondering. How do I say that I am against the cult without kind of saying that I was one of the people there who helped?
I would never support such a,
Yeah.
anything against our gods. I mean,
So just generally say that I purely only know about them in trying to prevent the spread of their influence. Yeah, it's never something I'd support.
roll for me.
75.
She looks at the guard, dismisses him. The guard nods, goes back out. She says, well, I have sent word to Faldrum about what has transpired here with the cult. Hopefully, I should hear back from him tomorrow.
Okay. right, because Fraldrum is away. Forgot about that.
Yeah, she's, um, yeah. A lot of powerful women in this place.
Yeah.
Um,
It's making me uncomfortable, Kevin. I'm concerned. I'm just kidding.
so she gestures to a set of couches over by the fire, and walks over there with quite an air of authority. I mean, she's very impressive.
Hmm.
Um, um, she motions to a drinking table, offering you anything you'd like, alcohol wise or anything.
I'll take something small, just a little bit of wine.
Sure. Um, she pours it in there. She says, ironically, this is from Anleb's Vineyards. You may have heard the name. And,
Yes, yeah, I have.
and
They're a
she gestures for you to sit, passes you the wine. Um, the wine is outstanding.
oh wow.
It is so good.
Oh man, now I feel bad. I've eliminated one of the best winemakers in.
Yeah, in the region,
I guess
probably.
she probably is a relative or something. I'll take over the business.
Well, no, remember, all of her properties are seized.
That's true, I guess.
So, but it's one of those things where the temple's not going to give up profit.
Yeah, yeah,
And so they're going to come and consult with her
right,
and make sure that the operation continues
right.
smoothly and that the temple gets a discount. I mean, that's how that's going to work. Um, she says that um, one of the main concerns remaining with the collapse of this cult is a name that was mentioned on a list. Never mind how we got the name,
Okay.
but the question is, did Lord Algret fund the cult here to
Mm.
tarnish the reputation of Lady Miagron? Um,
Yeah, I don't think I have any evidence that would counter that. That's certainly a possibility.
are you saying that to me? You're saying that to
I'm saying that to myself.
right.
Some barking going on there.
This is why God made Benadryl. Put your
Yeah,
doggy asleep.
yeah. Well, there's some windows that I will have to close. But anyway, so yeah, I'm thinking if I can bring up any evidence that would contradict that, but I can't think of anything. So I'm saying that is a
Right.
possibility. Yeah. Um,
We have to assume um, one of two things. If Algert isn't involved, that's fine, but there could be a cult there as well.
right.
Secondly, um, Ordia may simply be mentioned somewhere in context to either that cult that is there or in relation to Algert. Now, you
Okay.
are very well known, unfortunately, both here and among uh,
Right.
Albert's court.
Domain. Yeah.
Um, but that could be beneficial. Um, we're not going to send you to his court, but we're going to send you to his chief city, which we named last session, and now I can't remember it.
We did actually, and I can try to scroll back. So just for clarity, is the name on the list Ordia that she
Oh,
alluded to?
sorry. Yes, Ordia is the name that they're concerned about.
Yeah, she just threw out Ordia. I'm like, what? I'm like, that must be what she was talking about. Yeah, what is the name of the city here? I think I search for capital.
But we're also going to lodge you at some prearranged housing that we have there. You'll be protected while you're in the city of Habrazon.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have people watching you, seeing if you're being followed, and so on.
Okay.
You don't even need to necessarily make inquiries. Just sit in pubs and listen and see if the name comes up. Now the question is for you, speaking as the game master, not as Athene. Um, do you mention the information you have,
Yes, I'm thinking.
specifically Delcia?
Oh, true. Yeah. I was even thinking about if I tell her more about when I've been involved with the cult, but
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah, that's not super relevant. So yeah, I'll bring up that I did hear, it was gossip, so take it with for what it's worth. But the name Ordia was brought up by Delcia here at the temple, and a friend of theirs.
she rises from her seat and looks at you, and then looks into the fire. She turns back to you. Are you certain? Are you sure?
Again, it was just gossip from one of the servants. I'd been asking around about the name myself, and that's what they told me.
I consider Delcia a friend. To think that she could be involved. Return to your quarters. Speak of our meeting to no one. If
I did.
asked, I was simply checking on your status here at the keep and urging you to follow the guard's instructions when we're on lockdown with a situation like we have with HR.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
I was going to ask her about the trip to Habrazon. So I guess that's on hold for now until more things come to light.
Yeah,
I was
she's
going to ask, how long we're going to stay and stuff, but it sounds like there's more urgent matters right now for her to take
right.
care of.
There's a more urgent lead to follow.
So I'll. Do I know anything else that would help her? If possible, could have an. No, I don't think there's anything else really. If Anleb confessed, right, she would know everything. So okay. And then I'll if that's all, then I'll excuse myself and go back to my quarters. Well, actually, I'll go. If she lets me leave, I'm going to go to the temple first to talk to Kepik.
I don't know that you want to do that if
Yeah,
because she
right.
maybe. Yeah, it looks like you're headed to go talk to.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, never mind. I'll go back.
um, so you go back. Guards are still on fairly high alert. You are stopped and asked several times. My lady, you really mustn't be out of quarters. And you're like, I had a brief meeting. I'm headed back there. They're polite, but they don't want to get
Yeah.
flogged either.
Mhm.
Um, and so you make it back. Again, just another pair of guards. You have to go through, or just there's still parties out searching. You can tell
Yeah.
there are goblins in hushed conference. Pointing to ramparts and just trying to figure out a way, obviously, to find EHR.
Mhm.
Um, um, so you make it back to your quarters. How do you want to pass the time?
We can read a little bit from my tome here, although I need to remember which I have been reading from. Check here. I was reading from Way of the Spirit. I had Way of the Spirit. Well, just to keep it short, I'll read one of my books instead. So I finished my book on the Fae, and we can read my. I think I have a book on demons, darkness encountered, that I've read a little bit from, but I'll kind of. If I'm in the mood for something dark, I'll read a little more.
Right.
So I've read, I think, Darkness Encountered. I've read for about 5 hours. I've looked through my notes already. It's
How
210
long? How
pages.
long is the book? How large is the book?
210 pages. So.
Mm. You get. I was really surprised. I went and rolled for you,
Mm.
but I was really surprised you were able with the sort of the new tension. Right. I thought
Right.
he's gonna. Even with penalties, you did really well. So you get 2 hours of reading. There's a knock at the door. Messenger. Um, it's from Delcia. It says
Mm.
she is found.
What? Oh my god.
Or maybe identified.
Yeah.
Um, or where did I write that stuff
And
down?
so a note from Delcia
It's from Delcia. It says
says
she has been identified.
she's been identified.
It
Mm.
says she says Ordia, a goblin nickname meaning little bell.
Oh.
Um, see if I see. I remember I'd worked on her actually. It's a female um, in town. Where is? Um, see if I. What is going on here? Oh, there it is. That's what I get for. Nope, that was wrong. Sorry. I thought I had.
Okay. I'm just going to Google Translate and seeing what Ordia translates to whatever detect language tells me.
That's funny.
It's Basque for time.
That's funny. Well, time's up is
Time's up. That's right. Man,
that's funny.
telling the right people the right info. It always feels good. And
That's
telling the wrong people the wrong info also feels really bad.
Um, so um, instructs you to the note um, instructs you to remain in your room, and there's a new mission, a new task being formulated for you.
Okay.
Um, so um, um, so um, now you're kind of excited, right?
Yeah,
You
definitely. Now
this
my impatience is probably pacing around.
is right.
Okay.
Um,
Did it say you were you going to say something else? You said Ordia, Little Bell, someone in town. Was there any more info?
um, and that's all. And you could see that she's trying to be
Yeah,
very, keep this very, um,
yeah, under wraps.
yeah. So
Um,
um, so try to go back to reading. It's
yeah.
unlikely that's going to work. I don't know, but
No.
I mean, are you just going to pass the time throwing back liquor and pacing and?
Yeah, I'll have another. I'll get some more wine. Is fine. Just calm my nerves a bit and just keep myself as prepared as possible.
They bring you a bottle of wine. You
Okay.
specify that you want it from Ann Lib's Vineyards.
Yes. Yes, please.
You like this one better than you like the other one.
Oh, fantastic.
185, which is about 40 points higher than
That's
what you
dangerous
like.
for Breeze. We know that. I wrote down her personality. One thing Breeze deals with stress is by drinking. She just found like
Well,
favorite wine. And like, oh man.
and
Oh,
Josh's character, he had so much going on stress wise and everything. He had a magical mishap for you guys. If you want to go watch the 6 or so episodes we did with my buddy Josh, Ganry's Tale. And I forget, I think it was during our stream, but like he was close to being an alcoholic. I mean,
wow.
he
Wow.
was, he had several days.
Sorry, everybody.
Um, he had several days of just pounding it away, and he couldn't. I mean, we would try to like roll for him to stop, and he couldn't do it. He was so torn by guilt because basically someone else had gotten hung. I should say. I'm always bad about it. Hanged for an inadvertent death that he caused, and yeah, it was
Yeah, I
bad.
would drink to that. That's for sure.
um, so time passes. Why don't you roll to stop your own? Not alcoholism, obviously, but you want to be in shape to have a conversation.
39.
All right, not great, but you're a little tipsy when you meet her, but that's fine. So, you are. Would you be summoned, or will she come to you? But it's a couple of hours now. It's late afternoon. She will have her come to you. So she walks in, knocks on the door. You let her in, and might be a good spot. We'll stop right here, and then we'll take a
Yeah.
quick break, and then we'll run, stretch our legs, and grab some water, guys, and we'll be
Stretch our legs,
back.
hit our dogs. We'll be back.
And trying to give
Sorry.
some wine to our dogs and calm them down. But yeah, so we'll be back after just a few minutes. Thanks for watching so far. We'll be back with the meeting between Athene and Brise about what the next step is in tracking down this Ordia.
Stay
So
tuned.
thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll see you in a few. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. You notice I changed our ticker to represent current events.
Well,
Um,
don't worry, she's been put down. So, just kidding. No animals were harmed in the production of this stream.
Ray Romano has some relatively new stand up out,
Mhm.
um, and so his first stand up, since he um, left or since the end of Everybody Loves Raymond. And he had a great line in there about about they had like a new puppy or something at home, and he's like, "But I had to kill it. It saw me masturbating. I had to. I mean, I'm sorry. I just had to. I put it down. I couldn't. I couldn't. It is the way he did it. It was so great.
That's really funny. Yeah.
You got another bit in there where he talks about. He's like, we're just. Um, uh, where he talks about, like, his wife is just sick of having to do everything around the house, and
Mhm.
it's the only one who knows anything about where stuff is, and so he's like, she got really upset at him and his boys about their boys about about always asking her about stuff, right? And he's
Mhm.
like, you get one more question, today or something like that, and he's like, okay, where's my favorite sweatshirt? I'm just looking for it, baby. Where is it? She's like, okay, it's in the dryer. And she turns and walks off. And he turns to the boys and goes, okay, guys, do not ask her, but where is the dryer? Where is it?
That's brilliant.
Yeah, his stuff was really solid. Um,
All right. Well, we are back here. Athene just
yes,
arrived.
Athene. So
Mm.
yeah, so
Reporting for duty. Whew.
and as you see her close the door behind her, you can see that there are guards following her,
Oh
and
wow.
they stand at the door. Um, and another guard you see passes the windows at by your quarters,
Okay.
and Athene gestures for you to close them, and without asking, Athene just sits, makes herself at home,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, it's not really my home, I guess. Um, and so uh, she says that Ordia is a business acquaintance of Anleb, but they only have a formal relationship. That's why the name meant nothing to her. Ordia is a nickname among close friends. There's a goblin woman, another sort of industry leader uh,
Okay.
involved in, I don't know if you call it coopering. She's the head of the Coopers Guild. So she makes barrels on the
Right.
one side of her business, and the other is uh, general stuff like high end furniture and things like that. Is another area she's in. She's the largest both here and in Algret's County. So the possibility of Algret being involved um, may have increased.
Right.
Ordia's real name is Gadraz. Wait, I'll send it to you. I got to think of a last name for her. There you go.
Gadraz.
Gadraz Baroniel, goblin, female,
Okay.
um, long family ties here. Probably met, um, probably met Brashla um, um, through ordering barrels for uh, wine and other things. Also, like rain barrels around the
Right.
um, around his establishment and that sort of thing. Um, hopefully not. Hopefully, Brashla did not meet him through Anleb. So the question is, is there any truth to Ordia's or Gadra's influence?
Hmm.
And um, and that will be a matter of some torture for Brashla. We'll just find out. But we're still interested then in what connections we have between Gadres, the would-be Ordia, right? The
Hmm.
so-called Ordia, and Algrit.
Right.
Um, so we are going to cancel the mission to Habrazon. Our spies can do that part of it in terms of sussing out a relationship more easily than you, and they know the local scene better.
Right.
The task I have in mind for you is watching Ordia's outside residence.
Okay. Oh man, it's gonna be a challenge for my Brise's impatience here. Just sit and watch Leo's resident.
You can patrol though, like you
Right.
can.
Hopefully, yeah. We'll
So you have a horse still here in
I
the
keep. Yeah.
yeah. So you have so she tells you your horse um, is being saddled now. We hope that you can get there by nightfall
Yeah.
and set up camp. Um, she says, being a human, we know that um, your sight will be somewhat limited at night.
Hmm.
Um, but there are preparations being made for that. You'll find an extra backpack being set, being added to your horse. It will have a map containing directions and other things that you may need. Being outside is more ideal for you as you're so easily recognizable.
Hmm.
I would still, however, keep your hood drawn down over your face so that you can't be connected to the person you are so well known as here in town.
Right.
Um, um, try to find you a spot by nightfall and make camp at the
Okay.
edge of her property. It's an extensive estate.
Mm.
Um, and what you're looking for is to write down descriptions of visitors and activities there.
Okay.
I don't know what arts you possess, although Fraldrum has mentioned that you do know some, but the magical means of appearing at a distant location would be dangerous to use inside the house.
Hmm.
I think you know the restrictions that are placed on you here regarding using arts to do that.
Oh yes.
It would be similar, although less deadly, for you to do so there,
Hmm.
in all likelihood. You will also be given a sum of cash. If you are found by one of her guards, you have our permission to bring him or her into your employ as a source of information and to get you out of trouble. By the same token, you have permission to kill anyone you need to avoid being caught.
Okay. Wow.
I will leave you to get ready.
Anyone,
Let's have you back here 4 days from now in the morning. I guess you have to travel there, so probably noon on the fourth day.
okay.
If there is evidence of her gathering her household to leave or assembling her carriage, especially if there's several carriages involved, then return here as quickly as you can and report it.
I'm keeping up. I'm writing all of it down. A lot of information. Okay.
Do you have any questions for her?
Yeah, I would um
Tell her
ask.
to sort out her own mess. This ain't my problem.
I want to ask, like, how does do we think that Gadras knows of any suspected that we are suspecting them of anything, right? So I can kind of know how if I should be extra wary of that.
We have to assume so. We
Yeah,
have to assume that she knows. And to that end,
prominent. Yeah,
I mean, by now, word would have reached her by anyone not caught up in our net that the cult is finished,
right,
which means that her guards will be on high alert.
right.
She
Maybe
may be
good.
in the process of hiring more guards now,
Right.
but her grounds are extensive. I don't suggest you make a fire.
Mm,
Um, and be prepared to fight.
right. Always be on guard. Okay. What else would I ask? So stay out there for 4 days or until it looks like they're making a move. Take note of people coming and going. Got notebooks for that. Okay. Yeah, it seems pretty um, self-explanatory. Well, yeah. I guess if I find someone that looks suspicious, I might go and I guess I'll ask her that. If I see someone that looks, oddly suspicious, shall I track them down and leave my post to try to get more details about them, or are we more interested in everyone who's coming to visit?
She tells you that um, she's assembling a guard right now to attempt to arrest her.
Okay.
But she's got to get them assembled. There is also the debate about how quiet to be.
Mm,
Um, and so, um, she thinks for a moment, almost looking like a game master. Hmm.
Except,
Hmm.
except, what is she, like 102 for beauty on the
No, 120.
120? Right,
Yeah,
max.
just crazy. Um,
Not to say that you aren't beautiful, of course. You're a 119, Kevin.
oh, that's so great. It's nice of you to leave off the negative. Um, so, um, what could she do? That's an interesting question. If you find someone that's
Right. That's obviously, magic user or
or
something.
just unusual, right? It's a
Yeah.
lead that's worthy to follow.
Yeah.
Um, to expect you to abduct them and
Yes.
bring them back is, would take you away from your post, which might be worth it.
Right.
Um, you know, oh, I did. Do I have a roll? I don't have a roll drop yet. She says that she's going to send 2 men with you,
Okay.
and what they'll do is that they will stop at a. You guys will agree on a location
Mm-hmm.
to rendezvous at for rendezvous.
Riding
If
into the night with 2 men behind me. That's fine.
and so you will set up a rendezvous with them, a rendezvous location. They will remain there. Any prisoner you bring to them, they'll be on the far edge of town, basically nearest you. And that way, if you find someone that you think is too good to let go, you can incapacitate them, tie them up, and bring them to the guard. The guard will bring them the rest of the way, and then you can return to your observation post as quickly as possible. Um, and so she says, she's going to go arrange that, get ready as quickly as you can, and just meet in the main courtyard.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay.
She stands, wishes you luck, and leaves. Um, so you just need to finish off that bottle of wine. You're
Oh yeah,
wobbling.
I'll be taking this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Full on road.
What's my horse riding skills are pretty bad. Like, if I'm tipsy, it can't get any worse, right?
Exactly. I need a barrel of this wine for my horse. My horse needs the wine, the horsey wine.
And then Brees secretly tries to clear Anlem's name. So
That's right. Like we can't let the quality dip in this wine.
yeah.
We've got to keep pushing on.
All right. Yeah. So I'll go, accompanied to my horse and take a look through that second backpack. Take stock of everything in there.
Right. And I need
There.
to hop over there. Um, Oops. I don't know what my problem is here.
Looking at my spells here as well and potions if I have anything that to help get me out of trouble here if I'm kind of spotted. Got my base change and troll strength. That'll get me out of trouble.
Yeah.
Or get me into trouble.
Oh, that'll end somebody.
Yeah, so phase change and chameleon. That's the one. If I need to just get out of there.
Right.
That is a good plus 50 to stalk, plus 100 to hide. Woo.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Um, so there is in that backpack. There is. I could just type it to you, and
Sure,
then
yeah.
you could just cut and paste it. Um,
I'm noting down what I'm bringing as well. And what I'm kind of
yeah.
doing here. So I've got my eel skin, leather jerkin, and all my weapons and stuff equipped.
Right.
Flail, bolas at the belt.
Um, so yeah, there are night vision potions in there. Um,
Nice.
they provided you. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to tell you. I mean, then I'll send you the list,
Sure.
but yeah, there's 6 night vision potions.
Wow.
There's 4 chameleon potions.
Whoa. Oh my God.
There's 4 face change potions.
Wow. That's a lot of gold right there in that.
You see why they can't like give away too much at a time,
Right. In case
because
they need it for a situation like this.
right when the shit hits the fan, um, and there's a potion of invisibility.
Oh my gosh. Very nice.
There's also a really nice um, um, visored helm.
Hmm.
Which you're not a big fan of visored helms thus far, but of course, this is sort of the classic knight helm, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess there's the larger one, which is the pot helm. So this is the later one that has the actual visor on it, right? And you're like, of course, because it conceals my face.
Right. Right.
But also on it, on the forehead, is um, is the seal of Meagrel.
Hmm.
Um, so there's also oh, and yeah, I mean, you don't have to write this down, of course. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah,
But
I just noted the seal of me overall, just in case.
there's also a surcoat of Meagrel. Should you need to go,
Oh,
you're going to listen to me.
right.
I can't think of anything else they would necessarily give you. They assume you're armed. Um,
Yeah.
so if we think of something else, we'll add it after the
Or
fact.
yeah.
Um,
I think they would give me a few, pieces of mithril from your
oh,
travels.
that's right. They did.
Yeah.
Remember? They were going to send you cash.
Oh, well, that is true. Yeah, I forgot. They were going to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the joke becomes the truth.
So, yeah. So, two mithril pieces, 200 gold in there to bribe if you feel it necessary.
All right. Just come back with an empty bag. Sorry, I used it
It
all of it.
was, well, I mean, certainly expect that the night vision stuff's probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably going to be
That's
completely
true for 4 days. Yeah, yeah.
gone.
I guess what I'll probably do is if I see shapes moving, see people approaching the door, it's like okay, down the potion and
Right.
see what's happening. I'll have Nalani too to help me out a lot. So Nalani, drink this night vision potion.
Here we go.
Yeah, but feeding a dog like medication is so difficult. I can't imagine feeding a falcon.
Right.
So, eat this.
First, you got to feed it to the rabbit. Then you let the
All
rabbit
right,
go,
you kill the rabbit and then eat
and then you let let the let the hawk hunt the rabbit,
it. Right.
and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
um,
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've got all my been marked down here.
all right. Um, you've got two guards, one young, one very seasoned, both male. Um, they give you a brief bow. I mean, they kind of, there's an immediate sense that, oh, okay, I guess I'm in charge. Uh,
Okay.
you they look to you for orders, even though the older goblins clearly, more seasoned and so on, but you're running the show. Um, if you keep in mind, remember that goblin culture, they they really respect, right, intellect and wit.
Right, that's true.
And if you want to, I mean, you may not care. You may want to maintain this sort of formality between you and them. But if you don't, remember the way to do it is start busting their chops.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can decide that, but now would be the time to decide that.
Yeah. Well, let's want to build a relationship with these, two people. Let's try to do that now. So I'll say, that think hiring a human, to see in the dark is everyone. Everyone knows how that's going to go, but don't doubt my abilities here.
You got to bust their chops,
Oh,
not self-deprecation. You have
oh,
to
that yeah, you're right. That's orc culture. Sorry, I got
bust. That's right.
that. Funny.
Um, the older guy, seems ridiculously heavily armed for
Mm,
what he's likely to do.
okay. Well, yeah, I
Um,
say, are you sure you can be quiet enough wearing, you look like you're dressed for winter with all that armor.
armed, not armored.
Armored. Oh, armed. I'm sorry. I thought he had. Yeah. Say. I don't know how you're going to keep quiet with all that.
He glances at the young one, glances back at you, and he, he says, "My lady, it's the creaking of my bones that you're likely to hear, but you won't see me, blind one." And the young one's too afraid to, like, he looks at you and wants to say something but can't.
So
And
you said male and female, right? Is one of them
no, it's both male.
both male? Okay.
And um, the old guy hits the young guy and says, "Our real trouble's here with this klutz. He's as quiet as a tin pan down a stone stair." And they laugh, and you laugh, and definitely the thing is,
These are easy.
broken
Yeah. I
down.
asked them, for their names and just, their, I guess their position. I guess they would just be regular guards. I imagine. Um,
He was probably put in charge of choosing his men.
yeah.
Um, and either this guy kid is really good at something, you know, or he's decent and he's trying to give the kid a chance to prove himself, sort of a thing. And you'll just have to sort of watch that and see how it goes.
Okay.
Um, so the older goblin soldier is Herna, Herna, and
Or no,
the
you're gonna get
younger
a hernia carrying all that crap.
all those weapons, and the other guy's name is Aradoc. I need to write them up a little sheet in case combat comes into play. Um, so you'll probably just walk. Well, again, unless you want to maintain your position, if you want to reestablish your position as no, I am. I
Yeah,
am.
definitely
Then
want.
you should ride right and be above them.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna, saddle up and indicate, you're all gonna follow me now, and uh, we'll follow this map here.
All right, roll for me.
Know where I'm going. All right, 50. So what time of day is? I guess it's late afternoon now.
Yeah,
People
it's gonna be a chore getting there,
okay.
and so at a trot they can maintain at a jog,
Yeah.
and then drop them off at a rendezvous and so on.
Mhm.
Um, so they've got backpacks and so on. You can see there's a tent tied up over the young one's thing. I mean, they're planning on camping.
Right.
Um, so really no navigation. You've got two locals and a map. So
Okay.
just do one roll and don't roll below a 5. How about that?
Right. Don't roll below a 5. It's a 35.
Nice. And is there any miracle roll before? Because we're kind of getting toward the end of the session, and I don't.
Um, hmm, can't think of anything right now, but I'll keep in mind.
Yeah, just as we're
Some,
winding down. So,
yeah.
yeah, at a steady jog, you pull your cloak down and so on. Um, the um, so you're helped with navigation through the town. You make it out to that road. You're headed toward Algritz County, which
Mhm.
is also toward the valley that has the iron, Iron Empress. Couldn't think
Right.
of the word. I was like Iron
Iron King?
Ningboard, the Ningboard, the Iron Ningboard,
Iron.
um, and which sort of strikes you as interesting.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, but somebody's got to live somewhere, right? I mean,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, I accidentally built my city on an ancient burial ground. Oh no. Oops.
right. There was a restaurant in Macon, where Karen and I lived for a long time, and man, just everything that opened there closed within like a year. And we just joked that was the ancient burial ground. And finally it was a bank, and it stayed a bank for a good little while, and then it closed. We're like, man, nothing can survive there.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Mm.
it was a Joe's Crab Shack. It was I forget what else it was. Fuddruckers. It was,
Mm.
um, and of course, anybody who gets Fuddruckers as a sponsor will get 1,000 Karandrin points. Um,
I don't know, man. Their burgers are terrible. I might not back you up on that one.
you don't like their burgers?
I have a lot of childhood memories of going to Fuddruckers and being just like, I don't know, my mom can make a better burger. I could make a better burger. They do that like charcoal grill, I think. That just it's so carbon kind of tasting, a
Well,
little
I
too
tell
much.
you what, I kind of like them, right? And I was just thinking that I missed them. So
No,
you and I, after the stream, we'll set up a Fuddruckers hunt, and we'll go. We'll try to do one. What do you
yeah,
think?
we'll put it to rest. See if
Yeah.
maybe they're better than I remember.
So yeah, you make it there in really quick time. Um, on the
Okay.
jog, the old guys like recommending places along the way,
Yeah.
and you sort of leave it to him, I would think,
Yeah.
um,
Sure.
if you're okay with that. So he takes he he chooses this old trail that goes up a little bit up the slopes,
Hmm.
not very far, but it gives him a little sight on the road to see if you're coming. It's not hard to find, um, and it's later than either one of you want, um, and um, and unfortunately, you feel like you probably are going to need to down a night vision potion to be able to travel the rest of the way without using a light.
Okay. That's we'll do that. So I've used one before, so yeah, it's nothing too special. In
Right.
fact, I'm trying to remember if I had night vision as a spell. It might have been in a tome I didn't have, just for future when I use it again.
Oh, was it? I keep forgetting to print. I got to print out. I'm one page behind in your spells. I think that's printed out. Wouldn't it
No,
be in like any
maybe
sort
it
of?
was. Sorry.
Would it be in a lore spell that you've got? A lore list of any sort?
Yeah, I think maybe it just was a potion, and then also had Nalkarth, the shadow bow. I
Right.
think
Yeah,
I've
that'd be
probably never cast the spell, but I've had exposure to it through different items. So
right. So yeah, so you make it. You make it to the thing without a problem.
all right.
Um, son of a bitch. All right, that's hmm.
Hmm.
We might need to end on this note, actually.
What did I die? Was I hit by the black arrow?
No. So yeah, you drink the potion. Things become not quite bright as day, but it's very interesting. You can see there's a little loss of detail, and you wonder if that's what goblins and the other races experience during this during darkness. But there's no question that as your um, as you enter as you make it onto the turn onto the estate, basically. Um, um, there's sort of posts, marking the entrance. There's not a gate or anything, but it marks it and tells you, whose estate this is and so on. There's not a guard at the post, but standing there as you come in uh, is Fraldrum.
Oh, interesting.
And he, she, sorry,
Okay.
um, she waves at you and then just gestures for you to follow and walks into the woods.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious that they would have come back so quickly. I know they were on business. I guess I don't know where. But
Roll for me. I think you.
82.
So it's referred to. He's referred to it. She. Why do I keep doing this? She has referred to it before as the Eastern Matter,
Yes.
and it deals with one or both of the desert nations.
Right. Okay.
The
So I do
Pin
know they're
Clans,
way away. Yeah.
right? The Pin Clans is the northernmost. It borders directly Nargos. Like you go, that's the next nation you hit if you keep going east. Um, and then um, and then south, and they're not just stacked, right? They're kind of like this, So
Right.
the southern one is the Dravida Empire. That's that was split some years ago, some centuries ago, and um, um, so yeah. So I mean, you roll. Why don't you roll a gut check?
Okay. So, I mean, she could have just teleported back. 91.
That's you feel the same warmth when you see her. Your gut says that is her.
Okay.
Um,
I turned to my people accompanying me, and I say, just wait.
you've dropped them off. They've made camp.
Oh, they are John. Oh, sorry, I missed. I was thinking of someone else. Okay. So they made camp further up the road.
Yes, yes. They're up on the. They went up a slope a little bit, and they're hoping to do a little bit of modification, like to the trees and stuff, where they might see spot of the road.
Right.
Otherwise, they're going to just lay low and wait to hear from you.
Right. Okay.
um,
And I will, still mounted. I'll kind of walk into the woods with my horse and spot Fraldrin.
she's waited for you. As I recall, she has a crazy cool wand. Isn't that right?
I think she has a rod, actually.
Rod. Let's find her. Computer's a little laggy. Yeah, rod of twisted black metal with small gems set along the length. Um, she's in her robes, red trimmed in gold. Um, she's short, a bit fat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a
Older.
little slovenly. um, she's a little disheveled. Um, um, And so um, you walk, she, tells you to be quiet, and you guys walk for a good long while. And she's kind of, you come to a camp. She's got a blazing fire going, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And she gestures you in, and she says, "That's a fire that only the most powerful can see."
Oh, hmm. See.
Um, um, and I got to get a new computer. It's a while away, though.
Oh, congratulations.
No,
New laptop or
no. I'm saying I need one.
oh, need a new
Yeah, not congratulations. Um,
anti congratulations.
and she says, "Well, um, we need what we need to fill you in, I guess. Welcome to Kralum's new servant.
Oh no.
Ordia
Oh wow.
is working for Kralum now."
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna leave it there,
Sounds like a
gang.
good cliffhanger. Yeah. Wow.
Um, and and yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for everything, guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us as always. If you don't know who Kralum is, hop back. I don't know, probably around, well, anytime you want, really, and you can see.
Or just send us some money and we'll tell you.
Exactly, we can always do that.
Just do
So
that.
yeah,
Donate $5 for recap.
that's right. That's right. You know what? I do want to back up just 1 second before we leave. Is there a? Do you want? I mean, given this big reveal, is there a miracle roll you should do?
Um, you know, sure. Why don't we say uh, somehow I know exactly, how Kralum is influencing, how he's able to influence people in this world, right? Like, I just have like a revelation or something and realize this is how he's reaching out to people, and
Okay, his method of contact, is that what we're going
yeah,
for?
yeah, somehow I comprehend that.
Okay, you piece it together from your
Yeah,
past experience. All right,
yeah.
roll it.
Boom, 48.
Okay, we had to try. There you go. All
Cool.
right. Well, guys, thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, you can hop to donorbox.org and send us a little love. We always appreciate that. If you want to see more of Max and hear his sonorous voice, he's got his own channel where he discusses the role of musical arrangement and original soundtracks in video games. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for their terrific art for Brise's character that we use every stream. You can find more of their work at artstation.com/tortolua. And I've written a novel that I'm pretty happy with, a fantasy novel called A Shore Too Far. You can find it on Amazon. I hope you check it out and enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed writing it. Max, have I forgotten anything, or do you just need to say goodbye to the lovely people?
I think I just need to say goodbye. And yeah, really fun episode. A lot of intrigue and a lot of revelations. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and hope you tune in next week to see just what pans out here.
That's right. This is our month of Wednesdays, all April. We're going to be doing Wednesday nights just to resolve some just to resolve some travel issues and things we had. It was just the simplest way to do it. So catch us next Wednesday, and we'll see you then. The schedule is also up on the website for the whole month, and we just really appreciate you guys stopping by, and we will see you next Wednesday.